When the Skarathi evacuation ships left Outpost Virex 9, they assumed the lone human technician aboard had perished during the reactor breach. They didn't wait to confirm. The base had been compromised by hostile fire, the airlocks damaged, and a firestorm sweeping through the upper decks. The humans would understand, they told themselves. Acceptable loss. They didn't know humans like Eli Mercer. Eli woke up under a collapsed corridor panel, bleeding, ribs bruised, and the air tasting like scorched metal. The emergency oxygen system had failed, but his makeshift filter, repurposed from coolant tubing and an old respirator, kept him conscious long enough to crawl into a side shaft. He didn't panic. He cursed a lot, but he didn't panic. He was a Tier 2 mechanics engineer trained in Earth's deep void core. Survival wasn't just expected, it was engineered. After sealing the shaft and stabilizing his vitals with a half-functional medkit, Eli accessed what remained of the base's internal systems. They were fried. Power at 11%. AI core gone. Half the structure open to vacuum. But the reactor? Still humming, wounded but alive. "All right, girl," he whispered to the reactor wall, tapping it with a wrench. "Let's see if we can't put this place back together." The first week was about survival. Eli rigged hydrotank filters into oxygen recyclers, repurposed heat exchangers for warmth, and converted a broken utility bot into a food prep unit that could barely rehydrate protein paste. Not gourmet, but enough. He patched pressure leaks with sealant foam and insulation panels. Welded bulkheads shut with plasma torch scraps. Duct tape became currency. His fingers bled. His body ached. But the lights stayed on. The second week, he started rebuilding. He scavenged from the collapsed drone bay and found 2 repair units he could reboot. They weren't much, but with new code, they followed commands. He named them Fix-It and Ducty. They followed him like dogs. Piece by piece, corridor by corridor, he rebuilt power conduits, reconnected the life support array, and got the base's long-range sensor dish turning again. Still couldn't transmit, but it could listen. And what it heard was war. The Drexen Raiders, the ones who'd attacked Virex 9, were sweeping nearby sectors. The Skarathi fleet had rerouted. No rescue was coming. So Eli made a choice. If no one was going to save him, he'd save himself. And while he was at it, he'd make damn sure this base could punch back. By week 4, Outpost Virex 9 had a new command AI, rebuilt from backup cores and modified with human logic matrices. It wasn't sentient, but it was smart enough to handle defense systems. He repurposed mining lasers into defense turrets, converted the base's orbital tractor beams into anti-ship gravpulse cannons, reinforced bulkheads, created decoys, even booby-trapped the old docking bays. The outpost, once a forgotten husk, now bristled with improvised weapons and steel-sharp purpose. When the Drexen scout ship arrived, looking to salvage the remains, it met a base that should have been dead. Instead, it met hell. The moment they powered up docking protocols, a redirected energy conduit overloaded their systems. Gravpulse cannons locked their thrusters. The base's hidden turrets shredded their hull. And from the command deck, surrounded by makeshift controls and flickering holoscreens, Eli grinned as he flipped the firing switch. "Welcome to Virex 9, he muttered. "Population, 1 angry mechanic." Weeks later, a Skarathi diplomatic vessel returned, cautiously, scanning the base from orbit. What they found stunned them. Not only was Outpost Virex 9 operational again, it was thriving. The defense systems were superior to Skarathi military standards. Power efficiency was 160% higher. Internal AI protocols had evolved far beyond baseline. They hailed the station. The reply came in after a long pause, voice rough and tired, but unmistakably human. "This is Chief Mechanic Eli Mercer of Outpost Virex 9. Took you long enough." The Skarathi ambassador stammered. "We thought you perished." "Yeah, I figured," Eli said flatly. "Tell command they owe me a beer. And about 5,000 credits in parts." Eli didn't return to Earth. He stayed on Virex 9 by choice. The Skarathi made him commander. The Terran Union sent engineers to study his modifications. But among humans, a legend spread of the lone mechanic who was abandoned, forgotten, written off, and turned a dead base into a fortress. Because that's what humans do. We rebuild.